edition of Where Are They Now? Quarantine edition. And today I am with one of our actors who has been with us with Wild Horse, Brynn Walker, formerly Brynn Garrett. How are you, Brynn?
Doing well. Thank you, Carol, for having me.
Oh, it's so good to see you. First thing I always ask everybody, where are you sheltering in place? And is this where you live?
Yeah, I am in Washington State here in Centralia, and I'm actually between my house, where my husband and my son and I live, and then at night, I actually stay at my parents' house because my husband is an essential worker, and he is working the overnight shifts, and right now he's on 12-hour shifts 6 days a week, so we barely get to see him. So I stay with my parents. I feel a little bit more comfortable, less vulnerable. So it's our little COVID pod together.
Right, that's great. That's great. You have your little pod. Sierra and I always talk about having our pod.
Yeah.
So what does he do?
He is in a warehouse for a company called UNFI. It's a food distributor warehouse here in the Northwest. And I think it actually is from like Alaska down through California, maybe. Yeah.
So what was your experience with Wild Horse? What shows did you do with us?
Well, my very first show, I was reminded, was Joey and Maria's wedding. And I was just like in the improv ensemble. We were the server girls with the Avitias. And so that was my first one with you guys. And then my other one that I did was Once Upon a Mattress. And I got to play Princess Winifred, one of my favorite roles that I keep playing if I get the chance. And then I also musically directed A Year with Frog and Toad.
Right, right. So you were with us for a couple of really big shows because you were older when you started with us.
Yes.
We had your brother, Brayden, and your parents all involved with us. But we got you a little bit later, so you were a teenager, and you did amazing shows with us, and you were amazing as Princess Winifred. And I will never forget your role in that. So it was stunning. Can you tell us what was one of the craziest or funniest things that happened to you backstage?
My stories that I tell my kids too. Accidents happen, but I went from one side of the Wild Horse stage down the stairs, running mid-costume change up the stairs. I slipped and stepped on my costume and actually tore the ligaments in my ankle and had a severe sprain is what they ended up telling me. I was in a boot for several months, but the funny part about it was that, you know, we had everybody like, oh, wrap her ankle, okay, she's got to go on and finish the Spanish Panic. And so I'm out there, bravo, bravissimo, hopping around on my ankle, finishing out the show. It was one of the craziest stories, but I look back on it and think, oh my gosh, that was hard, and it was crazy, and it was funny, and it was like, wow, the show must go on, you know?
Right. It's crazy what happens with live theater. And that was when we were at the Children's Museum. So we had those back stairs that people had to run up and down that were not the safest stairs in the world, especially in long costumes for the Renaissance costumes you guys were wearing.
Those beautiful costumes. They were so beautiful.
We still have those, and we use them for other things. So
Good.
I think you will we have those costumes. So tell us what you're doing now. You are married and you have a baby.
I am fortunate to be married to my best friend, and I have the most amazing little boy in the world, and I get to be pretty much a stay-at-home with him. He also gets to come to work with me. So I work for my parents' theater company. I direct for them, I musically direct. We do outreach programs to elementary schools in the Pacific Northwest. And we take our theater to their show or to their school for 4 weeks. And then in 4 weeks, we put on a full-scale musical, costumes, lights, set, everything. And we actually just started with our middle schoolers when this whole thing happened. So they were pretty heartbroken that they didn't get to perform their show.
Yeah.
And we switched to online learning for a little while. So I taught music through the internet. I would record the YouTube video, how the song's supposed to go, and then I would break it down in all the parts, and then I would submit it to YouTube, and then the kids would practice with that. So they were doing a great job, but this whole virus just, you know, kind of shut everything down.
Yeah, I know. We were in our rehearsal for 2 shows that we have postponed, and we're waiting to see what the world will be like. So see if we can resurrect our rehearsals and figure out how to perform these shows, because like your children our kids worked so hard in the rehearsals, and we will get them to show what they've done at some point. Have you done any other shows since we've seen you?
Yes, I was performing in Tacoma for a little while at a musical playhouse and at the Little Theater there. I was in a musical called Young Frankenstein. I got to be in the ensemble there. An all-female musical called Shout, the Maud musical. I was in that one. I was Lucy and Dracula. I'd done a lot of backstage work since then too. I ran lights and sound for Bye Bye Birdie at Tacoma Little Theater. I was in Godspell in Centralia. I love that show. I'll do that show over and over. Rebel Without a Cause. I was a 26-year-old playing a 16-year-old.
As you
so
can.
I've been keeping busy, but I haven't performed recently since I had my little one. I'm spending a lot of time just working on being a mom and being with him and taking care of my family. Musically directing all the time though. I'm one of the music directors for our local community theater, and then as my parents' company too. And then I'm also a voice teacher. So
do you have a dream role that you haven't done yet?
Yes, since I was little, I loved the show Sideshow. I've always wanted to play Violet in Sideshow. It's the Siamese twins, but still haven't found anybody that's quite my look and type. And so someday, maybe. And then, of course, one day I would love to play, maybe Mrs. Lovett and Sweeney Todd. Yeah, I've got quite a few dream roles, but they're far off. Most of my dream roles now are adult women roles, and I'm not quite in that age bracket yet.
I get it. Sideshow is one of my favorite shows. I've never seen it performed because it's such a difficult show. And they were supposed to be doing it in Reno, and of course this happened. So I'm sure that's on hold too. So I would love to see that show also. And Miss Lovett is one that everyone says they want to play Miss Lovett. What a role.
It's such a good role.
I've been putting everybody a little bit on the spot to see if they want to share their talent with us. We haven't heard you sing in quite some time, Brynn. So would you like to share something off the cuff with us?
Okay. A song that I love. It's called Neverland. It is just a musical theater piece. It's not from anything specific. Just do a little bit. Okay. And though life was never easy, as we as children read in the books, where fairy dust just flies you so far away, and though I'm asking you to use your imagination, that I can pretend I'm flying away. I'm flying away, and that is where I'll stay, right there in Neverland. I'll be flying, I'll be dying for love, appreciation, where mermaids can sing and fairies will ring, right down there in Neverland. And it's second to the right and straight on till morning. Or was it second to the left and straight on till morning? In Neverland.
Oh.
Neverland.
Ah, so beautiful. Thank you for sharing your voice with us. A very special song, Peter Pan, very special to my heart and my family's heart. So thanks for sharing that. Any advice you would give our upcoming young stars? You have stayed in the business and have pursued your passion and your art. So any advice you would give?
Biggest advice, and I'm sure that there's multiple people saying this, is do it all. If you're asked to be a techie, take the chance. If you're asked to try costuming, who knows, maybe you are going to be brilliant at it. Step out of your comfort zone and do the musical directing or acting classes. You never know what you're going to find. Like for my whole life, I thought I was just going to be a performer, but I took a chance on utilizing the skills that I had and knowing piano and teaching singing and that's become my passion now, is teaching kids and giving that gift and helping them discover that they have these talents. So just taking every opportunity you can, whether it's, the lead or the ensemble. That sometimes the most fun shows are being in the ensemble. You make great connections with your ensemble players and silly jokes. But also another good piece of advice that I've taken is that, sometimes you really want that one role, and it's okay to not take the ensemble in that chance. Sometimes as you get older, there's times when it's going to be uncomfortable for you to take an ensemble role. So instead of being bitter, just say, okay, well, I can't accept this right now. It's okay to say no sometimes. But do try to take on every opportunity that you can. Try to discover the whole field and see if maybe there's one area that just stands out to you that you can't let go of.
That's great. Yeah, thank you so much for that advice. And it is true. I mean, we always tell our kids, they're so busy, with your students. Mm-hmm. They're so busy. If there is a role that you want and you don't get it, and you can't do ensemble because you're so busy, don't do it. That it's not, we don't put anything against you for not taking a role. We just want you to be honest and true to yourself and your talent and what you want to do at that point. Brynn, thank you so much for checking in with us and sharing your life with us and your talents. I miss the entire Garrett family. We miss you all here. You're such a big influence on all of the youth here in the area, and you especially, Brynn, bringing your talents to us and now sharing it with other students up there in Washington. So say hi to everybody for us.
We will.
And when you come down here to visit, make sure you stop in at Wild Horse.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brynn. Take care.
You too.
Where are they now? Quarantine edition.